Happy Homebrew Wednesday come Friday. It's the 17th of January. I think this is number 3 or number 4. I'm sure it's number 3. Yep. What can I say? Firstly, thank you to all my new subscribers. I think it was partly to do with Dave from Cheshire Homebrew saying subscribe. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you new subscribers. I've got loads. I'm up to 31 now, and I never thought in a million years never thought I'd have 5 subscribers, let alone 20, 25, 30. I'm just overwhelmed with the warmth and the happy community that we're part of. And a big hello to the main man that started it all, Mr. S.J. Port, who started Homebrew Wednesdays. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much for your subscription. Hope I can do you justice like everybody else can with our ramblings on every week of our brewing adventures. Thank you very much. And I've got loads of others. Gil, Dan, Fat Brewery, got Gary, Renita, Brian, Opera Wines, bloody good winemaker in America. Got loads. Daniel, thank you all. Super Welder, thank you if I've missed you, sorry, but thank you for your subscriptions, and I hope to give you some content and keep you happy along the way. Just a quick big shout out to the Welsh Brewer. Good to see your video back. I know you was unwell just before Christmas, and I know you've got to move house. It's nice to see your video the other day. I hope the move goes alright. It was good to see Ant Rogerson's video the other day about his brews, about spreading his liquid yeast. That was very interesting. I'm going to be doing the same thing with grain. I've got this book I showed you in the last video about 1 gallon brews. So what I thought about doing was doing the 1 gallon, just doing it no spars. So the first run-ins, use that. I'm going to do a chocolate maple porter first, and it's supposed to come out at 6.5. So I'm going to do that and do my gallon brew. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to sparge the grain, then drop the grain back into the sparge water, leave it a couple of hours, and then add some brew enhancer or some light spray malt or some medium or dark spray malt, or even, if push comes to shove, some liquid extract. Even like a cheap bottle from the health food shop, just to bump it up a bit, and then use that as a second run-ins batch. So get 2 gallons of porter out, or 2 gallons of stout out. I know that the second run-ins won't be as strong as the first, because I think the percentage on the first one was 6.5, but even if I get 4.8 or 5.2 on the second one, it's just another batch. So you're getting 2 batches out, you're maximising the sugar from the grain, and you're definitely getting your money's worth, although you're probably spending a little bit more on spray malt or dextrose or something like that. You're not having to do another full brew, but another full mash, are you really? You're just doing 1 mash, and you're just reusing the mash. There is a name for it, but this is only in 1 gallon. This is only in 1 gallon, so I should get 2 gallons out of it. Just waiting for the pots to come from eBay. 11.2 or 11.4 tin pots, £9, free postage and packing. So I got a couple of them coming. The mash tun would be a lot easier, just to bung it in the mash tun, and just even 1 or 2 just to bung it in a mash tun and forget about it, which I might still do when they rent the mash tuns out, or when they start renting the mash tuns out. I know Zippy Viking thought this is very funny, but they're going to let me have a mash tun when they get them in. I might just do the second run-ins and just leave it in there. I might even leave it in there overnight and see what comes out of it. That might get me more sugar out of the grain. I don't know, it's just an experiment. I'm thinking maybe I can get 2 gallons out of 1 gallon. The second gallon not being as strong, but you don't mind, I suppose, if you're getting it for basically nothing, are you? I suppose it's good. It's a bit like doing a 5 gallon brew but getting not 8 to 10 gallons out of it, out of the same thing, I suppose. But yeah, where is it to? Can I get to it a minute? Hang on a minute, just bear with me. You know, I've got a few health problems, and I've got a hospital operation coming up. I had the letter today. I had me second letter today. I have to go in a month's time, and I have to have a pre-assessment appointment, and then I have to have an assessment with the anaesthesiac assessment with the man that puts you to sleep on the same day. So, and that's in 4 weeks today. So, I think it's going to come around quicker than I thought. I was thinking it was going to come around in a couple of months' time, but I'm glad it's going to come around in a month, so maybe after that it might be a couple of weeks. So I have to brew like a fiend now, because when it happens there won't be no brewing for 6 to 8 weeks, I think. So, and I found out from a very good friend that she's having an operation, and they're actually operating our local hospital on Saturdays and Sundays now, so I think they're trying to catch up their waiting lists. I think they're a bit behind. So anyway, moving on to brewing activities. What we're going to do is we're going to bottle the Wherry tomorrow, the Woodfordes Wherry tomorrow, and the Magnum apple cider, which I had a taste last night and it's still not tasting the greatest. Everybody's told me now, Roy from the Turbo Cider groups told me, and the chap down at the homebrew shops told me that I should have put some spray malt in at the beginning, and that would have given it a bit of body, but or I think Roy said a bit of maltodextrin, but it's a bit late now. So I'm just going to have to bottle it up and hope for the best, basically. And I hope it ages a bit for a couple of months, and I hope it gives it a bit of body, because I tasted it last night, and our turbo ciders that we all make, our Melinas or even our Pat Mac Cat ciders, have got more body than that Magnum apple kit. I wouldn't suggest it to anybody at the moment, but I had it as a present for a present from Christmas, and I just want to see Kev's going to taste it tomorrow, and I think he's in for a bit of a shock when he tastes it, because it's a bit thin, even though it's had the glycerine in it and all the other bits and bobs. But we're going to do that up tomorrow, so I'm looking at 76 bottles tomorrow, and then we're going to bottle up the Chilli Wine. Yes, Dave, Cheshire Homebrew, the Chilli Wine by L. It's the Chilli Wine, so you'll be tasting it soon, Dave, don't worry. I think Mr. Rogerson needs to taste that as well. I think Ant needs to taste that. I think, I think it might do him good to have a little taste of chili. Gonna do that up tomorrow. The hot wine we're gonna bottle tomorrow. That's the Nelson Sauvignon wine. The rosé wine type wine we're gonna bottle tomorrow. The Elderflower wine we're gonna bottle tomorrow. So we're bottling 20 bottles plus the 2 kits. So he's going to use that little automatic bottle filler thing that I showed you in one of the videos last time to bottle while I clean the bins out. And then we're going to start another 2. Kits. These are coming near the end of my kits now, because then I'm going, I suppose you could call it all grain, I suppose, couldn't you? Because I'm using grains. So the first one we'll be doing tomorrow is a Geordie Winter Warmer. This was £8, 8 English pounds in Wilkinson's. Don't know if you can see that. There you go, it's a Winter Warmer Kit. It just says add sugar, but I've never used a Geordie kit, so I don't know what they're like, so I'm going to bump it up a bit. I'm going to put some Demerara sugar in it, that's for a start. I'm then going to put a beer enhancer, a kilo of beer enhancer kit in on top of it. It can't help it, can it? It can only enhance it, I suppose. So I'm going to bump that in with the Demerara sugar on top of that. I was going to hop it with some Cascade, because I've got Cascade and I've got some Bramlin here still. I'm waiting for Vic's Secret and TNT to come, but that's not here yet. So I might do it. I'll see. I might do it in secondary, see what it tastes like after primary. But I'm putting that into the Geordie, so that should be good. I'm also not going to use the Geordie yeast. I'm going to use Wilkinson's Gervin English Ale yeast. I believe it's Nottingham yeast, but it's rebadged as Wilkinson, so I think that might give it a bit more oomph. So I'm going to use Wilco's Gervin Ale yeast. It's on special in Wilkinson's. I think it's £1 something. It's half price or 20% off, and it's basically Nottingham ale yeast, and there's 11 grams in there. So I'm going to replace that, and that should hopefully give it a bit more oomph. So I'm going to do that one. That's 40 pints. Using bottled water as well from Tesco's, the cheap. And the other second one is a Wilkinson's Pilsner, light delicate Pilsner. Never brewed a Pilsner. Was going to hop it to death, but I think what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to use ale yeast again on it, but I'm going to put 500 grams of light spray malt with it. I don't know if you've seen the Welsh Brewers Adventures with the Tesco, for the English people, not the American people, sorry. Tesco's do a thing called a malted drink, and it's sleepy time drink to go to bed with, but £1.40, but the ingredients are 72% malt extract for £3.50, and it's a good way to add a bit of oomph to it, and especially when you've got 72% malt extract for £1, just over £1. It's not bad. So I'm going to add one of them to the Pilsner. I'm going to put nutrient in each with the yeast to give it a helping hand as well, just in case it's not warm enough here. But like I say again, I'm going to use the Nottingham Wilco yeast, and I thought I'd do those. I'm also going to start 2 more wines tomorrow. I'm going to do a pomegranate wine, and I'm going to do an apple and raspberry wine as well. So I bought airlocks, were going cheap, so I bought another 2 of them just in case. Bought them. So I'm going to do another 2 wines. Then that means we've got in 3 or 4 weeks time, we've only got 5. That'll be 5 wines to bottle again in 5 weeks time, or 4 weeks time. So that would be 5 times 5, 25 bottles to bottle in a month's time, and that should be my wine adventures over for a little while. Although I'm going to do a parsnip and apple wine as well. Parsnip, honey roasted parsnip and apple. But I'm going to do a video on how I make that on the brew day, show you what I do to that. So, but the juice wines are just basically Tesco juices with the white or the red grape juice and their usual ingredients. Although, for the English people again, sorry for anybody else in the world, Tesco's seem to be getting rid of or discounting a lot of their juices. I picked up the juices for the pomegranate, including the grape juice, enough for 1 gallon for £2, and that's a couple things of the pomegranate and the grape juice, and I've got enough grape juice to do another hot wine. And I'm doing the apple and raspberry. The apple and raspberry juice is 50p a litre. They've reduced it from £1.50 or £1.75 down to 50p. The cartons of a litre and a half of the grape juices have come down to 64p from £1.80. It's just crazy. The pomegranate juice has come down from £2 down to 75p. The granini, the really high content juices, the over 50-60% juices, have come down from £2 down to £1. Tesco's are just selling fruit juice crazily. I could just brew, if I had loads and loads of disposable cash, I could just brew 20 different wines. I could have gone crazy in there with wine, buying juice for wine. It's just crazy. But everybody was doing it. Everybody was just filling their baskets and trolleys up with fruit juice. It was a bit crazy. So if you've got a Tesco's nearby, go and check and see what they're reducing, because our local one had virtually everything. Then the next Tesco where I went today, they had half of their display reduced. But they are reducing the Vimtos. Even the most expensive fruit juices, those organic Calston juices, they reduced them down to £1 as well, and 75p, and it's a bit silly, but I don't know why they're doing it. But I know we use the apple juice at 65p, but the fruit juices are, the most expensive fruit juices are that price now. So have a look, see what you think. They've even got the organic apple juices there, litres of apple juice for 70 or 80p now, instead of like £1.90. So it's worth it. And this is my last ale, my last Cooper's Pale Ale. That's the last of it now, until tomorrow, and we'll be bottling up the Wherry. As a quick review, had one of those yesterday, picked one of those up. It's a Whitechapel Porter. When I passed Asda yesterday, it's one of their extra specials picked. It's a it was a Whitechapel Porter. It was brewed by Shepherd's Name. It was 5.2, and it was a roast malted richness with hints of spice and chocolate. Got a little bit of spice but no chocolate. It went down very nice. It was supposed to be a rich, warming ale brewed over a unique blend of pale crystal and chocolate malts, using chalk filtered mineral water. It was alright, it went down nice, but I wouldn't buy it again. I was going to buy 3 for £5, but I only bought one. I'm glad I only bought one, because I couldn't taste much chocolate at all with it, and it's just a little bit of spice. It was a bit bitter. I thought it tasted quite like the Guinness I drunk the other night. It tasted quite like that. So, but that's in Asda. And what else have I got? The last thing is, I was going to use Cooper's drops tomorrow to carbonate the bottles as an experiment after using sugar. I worked out I needed 76 bottles plus tomorrow. I looked at the Coopers and they wanted £3 for the drops, and I suppose you could say I'm a tight ass. I didn't want to spend £3, so what I've done is I'm going to use sugar lumps or sugar cubes, 1 per bottle, because I've been having mixed results with carbonation lately. I don't know if I've been going a bit crazy in some bottles with the spoon of sugar, or not so in some other bottles. Don't know if that's shaky hands or whatever. I'm prone to shaking hands. So I'm going to just use 1 lump per bottle, because each lump is 4 to 5 grams, so that's enough. I'm going to use me Cooper's Ox bottles tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to put one of them in each bottle, 1 in each bottle. But we got 76 plus tomorrow to do, so it's going to be it's going to be a busy day, and then we're going to start brewing the Geordie's Winter Warmer and the Pilsner for summer, Geordie's Winter Warmer for late summer. And I know I said that was the last one before I go to all grain. I may just do an IPA kit just on its own, and a Ritchie's on the Rocks cider kit just to finish it off. But I'm not sure yet. The IPA I'm pretty sure of, but the cider, the Ritchie's, I'm not. Because Roy, who's the admin of the Turbo Ciders Facebook group, and he's on YouTube here, Roy Lake, a good bloke, have a look at his videos. He's actually using some liquid yeast, and he's doing an experiment with apple concentrate. Because I think with the drinks lately, I think the apple, the turbo ciders, unless we're using different types of fruit, the apple, just using bog standard turbo apple ciders, it's getting a little bit, the flavours are getting a little bit the same, aren't they? And unless we're using the Melina, which is great stuff, the Melina flavoured cordials, we're getting, because we're using dry yeast, we're getting the same flavour profile every time. He's doing an experiment with liquid, the Y yeast stuff, and some apple concentrate made by Suma. He's doing an experiment, but we won't hear about that for a few weeks because he's having dry January, which I take my hat off to him. He's not drinking for a month. So we'll find out that in February. But yeah, but if you ever want to find out about ciders and fruited ciders and the Melinas and that, you should look up the Turbo Ciders group on Facebook, because there's recipes in there and different kinds of, we just talk about different fruits to use, the cherries, the Melinas, all types in there. Tins of fruit, fruit concentrates, any tins you see in Tesco's or supermarket, other supermarket fruits are available, things like that, and it's quite good. So I think I've said everything. I've done my shout outs. Groups on Facebook to have a look at, the UK Craft Beer group, Facebook group to have a look at if you want to look at a group. The Facebook Turbo Cider group. There are two groups that would get started in. You've got the Zippy Smash Off group to have a look at, and there's Uncle Jonah's review group on there as well. I don't know the exact name for that. You'll have to look on his YouTube channel, and he'll have that on there. But yeah, I think that's it. I've done shout outs to everyone, haven't I? Brewing with Bill, I hope you're alright. If you watch this, I hope you're good. And Christian, Christian Brewbear, I haven't forgotten you. I'm loving your cider making last week. It looked really good. Loving the tea cozy at the end. It looked good stuff. You did a good video last week. Really good. And just one final shout out to Dino on Tuba Dino's over in Australia. You're doing some good stuff, and I've been watching your stout videos as well from old, so your different chocolate stouts and all your other things, and even your ginger beer video, which looked quite interesting. So I think that's me done. I think I said hello to everybody, and all I can say is have a good brewing weekend if you're doing it, or if you're not brewing, go and get a drink and have a good weekend, and I shall see you next week. See you later, everybody. Take care. Bye now.